Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Little Rock, where love is our teaching and service is our prayer. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Crystal Amos. I thought you were going to tell me something. I started coming here in 2016, and I became a member in 2018. And as you all have, some of you have heard me say before, this place is a gem. So I'm so glad that I found it. If you are a newcomer, we're glad that you've chosen to be with us today. My hope for you truly is that you will see something, or you will hear something, or you will read something, or you will feel something that makes you want to come back again. We want to keep in contact with you, so if you haven't filled out one of those, a blue card at the greeter desk, we invite you to do so that we have your information. And also, we want you to know that after service in our Meta Wing, which is located right out here, we do have coffee hours. So please feel free to hang out and chat with us and have coffee. Alrighty, so now I invite Jan Williams. Where are you, Jan? There you go. He is going to come forward to light the chalice and lead us in our affirmation of covenant, which is printed in your order of service.
I light the chalice with these words. Open our eyes to see what is beautiful. Open our minds and learn what is true. Open our hearts to love one another. Please join me in the affirmation of covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow together into one mind. Thus do we covenant with each other.
Many years ago, one of my ministerial colleagues shared her mantra for meetings, especially church board meetings, where in our tradition, the minister is an ex officio non-voting member, that is, a member of the board automatically by virtue of office, voted on when hired or called, and expected to report and to participate, not without influence, but without a vote. Her mantra for responsible participation under those conditions was, show up, pay attention, tell the truth, and let go of outcomes. The first three parts of that are really just good guidelines for being in right relationship. Show up, pay attention, tell the truth. That shows you care, and it shows respect. But that last one, let go of outcomes, for a minister in a church board meeting, is about how to serve in your role without a vote in a decision. Whatever decision is made, the minister's role remains to care about, inspire, and encourage folks to be their best selves and to realize as much of the ideal of beloved community together as we can. And it sure helps not to have a vote. It keeps one from being too invested in personal preferences. It keeps one open to other perspectives. You learn about people, and you get in touch with possibilities and collective capacities that we can only imagine together. I think something like that is also true of being a good neighbor. As neighbors in society, we don't have a vote about everything that happens. For example, plans are going forward now for an AI data center at the Port of Little Rock, just the other side of the airport from downtown. An application has been made to the Army Corps of Engineers for a permit to dredge and fill 16 acres of wetlands near Forest Creek, which is the proposed site. You might have read about that in the Arkansas Times or the Democrat Gazette, or heard about it on TV or the radio, or even seen a post about it online. We check in those kinds of places, don't we, to see what's going on that can affect us and our neighbors, right? The Corps of Engineers can grant that permit without a public hearing. There is a public comment period. We're in the middle of it now. It ends on May 1st. We can submit public comments by email to demand a public hearing. And with enough noise and pressure on that through that process, it's possible that the Corps' local regulator will feel obligated to hold a public hearing. And if he does, again, with enough noise and public pressure, we might prevent that permit from being issued. We don't have a vote on that, but we do have a voice. And for it to be heard, we have to organize. You probably remember me saying before now that democracy isn't just voting, it's organizing. That's because voting is always restricted, sometimes unjustly, but sometimes for good and reasonable practical reasons. Things don't get done if everybody has to vote on everything, or we require a consensus on every detail. Things just won't get done that way. We have many kinds of democratic processes for building consensus, and they work best when lots of folks participate. Voting works best after, by those other kinds of processes, comments, hearings, other methods of collective discernment, we have already developed a broad consensus. And then we vote to decide formally to commit to certain goals, a certain direction, or certain boundaries. We don't live out our values by voting. We live out our values in community by showing up, paying attention, telling the truth, and letting go of what we thought the outcome should be before we participated in a democratic discernment process. We live our values by caring about, by inspiring, by encouraging each other, by honoring and protecting one another's dignity and freedom. We live our values by keeping love at the center. Sometimes we engage a public process to defend our community, such as what I was just talking about. Other times we can engage a public process to improve our community, and that's what we want to lift up today. Just such a process to imagine together a better Little Rock is underway right now in this demonstration project called Beyond the Divide. Beyond the Divide is a joint project of the City of Little Rock, the Downtown Little Rock Partnership, Philander Smith University, and the Dunbar Historic Neighborhood Association, with business partners Velocity Graphics and Hug and Haul Mobile Storage. Got to have some place to put stuff. You can take it down, put it up, right? Good partners. And all this to imagine the possibilities and our collective capacity to revitalize the historic West 9th Street corridor. Once a thriving center of black culture, music, and business before its destruction to make way for I-630, which displaced hundreds of families and separated the neighborhoods south of the interstate from downtown. Assisted by a consulting team called Studio Maine, City leaders have worked with local cultural institutions, youth organizations, libraries, and universities to understand the legacy of I-630 and envision what a safe and connected future for the neighborhood could look like. Right now, this demonstration project, led by City Director Antoine Phillips, Studio Main Project Director Ernest Banks, and Event Manager Chloe Chapman, is bringing together local entrepreneurs and culture bearers to imagine and create events that tell the stories of West 9th Street and of neighborhood residents, to show how commerce and culture can return there, and build support for permanent street improvements to restore its connections to the communities south of I-630. Between now and Juneteenth, that's June 19th, the 3 blocks of West 9th Street between Broadway and State Streets, from the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center down to the Dreamland Ballroom. In that few blocks, they hope to provide the public with concrete experiences of West 9th Street as a vibrant, people-focused street by creating temporary urban spaces with commerce, public art, and community programming, a shared space that celebrates culture, creativity, and connection. This is an opportunity for us to show up, to meet our neighbors in that part of Little Rock, to pay attention to who they are, what they hope for, and what they are offering to this project, to learn and appreciate the truths they know about our city and offer truthful encouragement, letting go of our own notions about West 9th Street in order to experience this collective reimagining of how we might repair and recover its vitality with open hearts and minds. And later, as the time for voting on street improvements approaches, we can help build a coalition that supports our neighbors' vision. Relationship building of this kind facilitates finding possibilities and our collective capacities to make our neighborhoods and communities thrive. It's difficult to do in a contested, divided time like this. But because we have fallen on such times, it has never been more necessary. If we each engaged with this project, even casually, a visit or two, and a few good conversations, it would help put us on the path to healing our political and social divisions. The actual repair of West 9th Street would potentially be deeply healing and generative for all of us and all of our neighborhoods. Better acquaintance with the folks actively working on reviving West 9th Street would afford us both practical lessons in how to make change and potential new allies in working for justice and a better future for us all. So I encourage you to make plans to visit West 9th Street in the coming weeks. Show up, pay attention, learn the truth, and imagine new possibilities. Put love at the center. Meet our neighbors. Make new connections, maybe even new friends. It might become a step toward truly getting beyond the divide and into a better, thriving, and more just community across Little Rock. So may it be. Amen.
I invite you to remain standing as Jan Williams comes back up to extinguish our chalice. As we join together in saying our closing words. Oh, I thought okay. Thank you. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted.
Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings.
And may you take a step beyond the divide.